A book is a loaded gun in the house next door. Burn it. Take the shot from the weapon. Breach men's minds. Who knows who might become the target of a well-read man? This quote came from the book Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury. In that book, he describes a future society where books, music, art, and anything that provoked thoughts or emotion were banned and then burned. The book itself underwent ban many times throughout its history, starting with its publication in 1953. As a result of today's socio-political climate, book bans are on the rise on both sides of the political spectrum. It's important as free people that we protect our freedom of speech and oppose book bans. If we work together, we can prevent the censorship of thought that is going on in this country. Why do we need to protect books? Simply put, book bans are suppressing our freedom of speech. Many books that we consider classics today were at one time banned throughout their history. Books like The Jungle by Upton Sinclair, the aforementioned Fahrenheit 451, The Nation by Langston Hughes, Gene Orwell's Clan of the Cave Bear, The Outsiders, The Great Gatsby, and many more have undergone ban. And these books push the limits to what was acceptable to talk about at that time. They forced their readers to face realities that were uncomfortable to them, but were the truth nonetheless. Today, most bans focus on topics that are covered, such as LGBTQ and trans rights, racial diversity and inequality, and sexual assault and abuse. According to PEN America, those who want to ban books are attempting to use obscenity law and hyperbolic rhetoric about porn in schools to justify banning books about sexual violence and LGBTQ topics, and in particular trans identities. In doing so, they have also disproportionately targeted books by women and non-binary authors. So we know banning books is bad. But does that really happen in this day and age? I mean, it's 2024, right? It doesn't happen. Well, I'm sorry to say that it does happen. The banning of the books in the United States has been on the rise for the past 2 years. PEN America reported 4,349 bans between July 1st and December 31st, 2023. This escalation, according to PEN, follows 2 years of coordinated efforts to censor books in libraries and classrooms across the country, restricting young people's freedom to read and learn. According to the State Library of Oregon, in Oregon State alone, 46 challenges were issued in the year 2023, affecting 93 individual titles. That is more instances than has ever been recorded since 1987, which is when they started. 82% of those challenges were issued in public libraries, and 14% were done in school libraries. I'm sure that you're surprised to find that book banning goes on in this world today, in the modern age. I know that I was surprised, but why is it happening? In today's political climate, issues are becoming more divisive, and with that division comes more book bans. It's not a one-party issue, it's a bipartisan problem, as both sides want to ban books that don't mesh with their political ideologies. The right tends to ban books that deal with LGBTQ and trans rights, racial inequality, sexual assault and abuse. They believe that these teach a woke ideology and that it's only there to subvert American values and family values and is there to destroy our country. The left, on the other hand, though they don't ban books quite as often, do seek to ban books like Huckleberry Finn for use of racist language, or To Kill a Mockingbird for alleged use of a white messiah or white savior narrative. They even have gone so far as to try to ban Dr. Seuss for use of racist imagery. Our liberties are under attack, but what can we do about it? I propose that we take action against the suppression of our civil liberties and oppose book bans. If we attend local library board meetings, local school board meetings, and city council meetings, according to United Against Book Bans, is one of the most critical actions that we can take in opposing book bans. Other things that we can do would be to write to your congressman, write to your local representatives, and let them know that you oppose book bans. Another way we can help is with monetary support to advocacy groups such as PEN America or Unite Against Book Bans. That can go a long ways in helping support authors and supporting the books that they write. Are you up to the challenge of defending freedom and justice? It's important as Americans and lovers of freedom that we oppose book bans. So we have seen that book bans are on the rise in this country. We've seen that it suppresses our freedom of speech, and we've seen that what we can do about it. Protect your liberties, whatever the cost. Make your voice heard in council meetings and in government, and let them know that you oppose book bans. Books aren't just words on a sheet of paper. They're not just stories that aren't connected to real life. Books represent freedom. Books represent the thoughts and words of those that wrote them, and they represent the thoughts and words of those that read them. Make sure those voices are heard. Thank you.